This is Justin AMZN on Friday, November 30th, 2018. And pre-market, we've got a nice little bounce right off of our line at 1665 and 27 cents. And as the day opens up, we get a pullback just above there. Would have been great to get a pullback and a bounce right on the line, but it does bounce. And as an inside candle moves up, takes out the high, still below this kind of double top here on the pre-market, and coming right into yesterday's closing price. Or no, that's the closing price candle. Never mind, we're above that. Let's see. So we're right in here where we had some resistance yesterday. We're moving above that and get a little bit of sideways action, consolidating here, and then continue sideways. That went sideways for a really long time. It has a nice little flat top, higher lows, and looking like we're getting a little bit of a squeeze. There we go. It breaks out. Moves on up pretty quickly and makes a new high on the day. This is a great place to take profits because it's making a new high. And you had a nice breakout from this triangle. If anybody bought way down here at 1665-ish, I guess the low is actually 1666.50, or somewhere in these candles, just with a stop right underneath it. That would have been a nice move. We'll look at some of the options to see how you could have played this, but doesn't quite get up to 1700. That's the next nice round number here. It bounced off of like 1665 in here. It has some really nice small candles, 20 minutes of a just kind of stair step in here before it breaks out. So from here, it does kind of a double top and then pulls back. Looks like it's going to pull back into the high in here and start to bounce. It's got an inside candle. It'd be great to see this continue on higher. And it starts to, and then it pulls right back and does a double bottom like this. But it's not really going up as quickly as this broke out. So it's kind of going sideways here. Not too much happening. All the while, we've been losing the bullish momentum. We're pulling back into the 21, which is somewhat held through here. And then we start to break down. Some really small candles in here. Those break down again. Got a squeeze forming. Now we're below these lows. We're back into this level here. Bearish engulfing candle. These are all signals not to be bullish right now, and it's continuing lower. So this is nice. You got a couple smaller candles here. Same place you had a couple small candles in here, or at least that one. And then this starts to look like it's moving up. So this is a nice morning star reversal at a place that it consolidated before and then broke out bullish. Our squeezes fired a few candles ago and has continued bearish, but right now it's at a place that it could bounce. And it starts to do that. Moves back up a bit. Actually, pretty quickly moves back up, right up into this high. Again, this would have been a nice morning star reversal to get into, and then a nice place to take profit, especially with a candle like this with a large upper wick, inside candle, add a resistance, that kind of thing. So we're coming into 1 o'clock into the afternoon, and this is holding as resistance, starting to pull back a little bit. So hopefully you're out if you took a trade to get a little bit of this gain. And we'll look at what the options did from this move, from here up, and from here up on the same option to see what was actually going on this day. So a lot of sideways through here and start to break out and actually slightly make a new high on the day here and then pull right back down from that, and then get a little bit of a rally into the close. So the strikes that we were kind of bouncing around in here, the 1665, you were in the money most of the day, out of the money a little bit here, but this option would have been pretty expensive. We can look at the 1675 option where these candles pull back into it to see if that would have been a good one. And then the 1700 strike, that was always out of the money and pretty much was losing premium significantly all day. So we'll jump over and look at the 1700. You can see the indecision here, really small value, around 125, 150. That rallied, got up above the opens high. And then when we came into those indecision candles, or sorry, that Morningstar reversal, it was way down here around 30 cents, 30 bucks, I mean. So this was like 125 and this was like 30. Like that's significantly lower, but same location. So if we just round it to like 120 and 30, that's 4 times less. And it's at the same exact location right here and right here. Same exact location. It's lost 4 times its value. It's lost about $1 of value over these, let's see, 9:15 to about 12, almost 12:15. So in 3 hours, and still 3 hours to go, it's lost about $1 of its premium and doesn't have much further to go. That's 1700. Now the 1665, sorry, 1670, I keep saying 1665 because that's our line. The 1675 strike call in here was around 9, between 9 and 10, and then that lost down to around 6 or 7, so lost 2 to 3 to 400 or 2 to 3 to 4 bucks over the court. Well, let's say 3, probably around $3 in those 3 hours. So just by the 1675 strike being in the money for a bunch of the day, it didn't lose as much premium. It didn't lose a multiple like the 1700 lost, 3/4 of its value. This one lost about 1/3 of its value. So much smaller. That's why if you can get a risk to reward that really works well on an in the money or at the money strike, it's going to help keep that premium in the option. And you can see here there was multiple opportunities, from here with a rally, from here with a rally, that you just didn't see on the 1700 strike, because the 1700 strike rallied from here pretty significantly, and this one just really didn't. I mean, it still rallied, but not the size of it. So, I mean, a setup like this, you could have been getting in like 175 by 75 or something, have $100 risk, easily get like almost 3R, maybe 3R on that. But had you just something like that here, I mean, your risk is a lot smaller, but you got to be really nimble to get out, and there's not really any place, I guess, riding it back up into these lows as possible. But you're really, more so hoping that it's going to have that kind of a bounce, or at least that the premium is going to increase when it's moving, and it's still so far away from being in the money. So just couldn't get that going today with the calls as this was rallying here, and then just lost a lot of premium here again as well on the 1700. Just couldn't get there. Just went sideways to this and then just lost all the value being out of the money. The other strike, the 1675, right here, you can see that it bounced around quite a bit. Had a bit of a S curve here. That was an opportunity to get in around 11, 12, something like that. It's pretty much consolidated, like sideways, but it moved from 1685 to 1690, but it's an S curve, same thing. And then it could have been exiting when it got back up to this high, or exiting when it got back up to this high. But again, as it gets later into the day on expiration Friday, you just got to be really quick with the trades and don't be chasing something to get out when it hits that value, or even get out before it gets there. Like this, we made a higher high on the option. I'm sorry, we made a higher high on the stock, but we did not make a higher high on the option. The option volume was really low. That's why you have some of these lines. That's why I don't like trading these. Some of these other ones, so this one there's two, this one there's two, but the size of it is so different. 4 options, 2 options, 14, 13, 50. So, I guess there's not really something clear to say, oh yeah, this one is low volume, and this one is much higher. It's double, but I mean, it's 1 versus 2, whereas this is 50 and it moved quite a bit. So there's hopefully some people buying and getting out up here, but I don't see 50 being sold up here. I see 32 here and then 8 here. So that's 40 of the 50 if it's that same person. But, that would have been a nice gain to have a little bit of that. So, and then it's really easy when it's just going sideways or pulling back that you're going to pull back to below a previous level. And a lot of times if you see a trade set up earlier and you miss it, don't chase, wait for it to pull back to the same level or pull back further on the stock, but wait on your option until you're much further below where you were. If you set up this same entry, like let's say 10 by 9, just something that's rough, 10 by 9 in here, if that was your setup, say you missed all that, you set it up here, didn't fill, so you waited, and just an hour later, you may have been filled here and stopped out here, and it didn't even slow down on its pullback because it was in the process of pulling back. But waiting for this pattern, not just waiting for this pattern, but waiting for the pattern to break and then a pullback. This candle, 1225, probably was the best place to get in. So 1225. So when I say best place to get in, instead of speculating on this Morningstar reversal here and taking a breakout, you can wait for a pullback. And in this case, it didn't get all the way back. And in this case, the 1230 candle was actually bigger or lower. Sorry. So even though the wick is lower here than this one, but to me, all of that is how these were. The 1665 strike was working or not working as well during the day. If we go into the money to 1665, look at the same thing. We may see a little more volume. Let's see. So 1225, yeah. So both of these, the lows here are 3172 and 3170. So they're about the same. Not to say that you've got the account and the size of your R working for $100 risk in here. I mean, this would have been a couple hundred just to have this pullback with a stop below here on this strike. So this is much harder to trade because you just don't have the smaller candles. In this case, you have a candle that's got a range of $1. So it's interesting. Didn't expect to see that on a 1650 strike. But we get into about the same location here. So the high is 29, the low is 28. High here is 29, the low is 28. So a little bit of different style candle, but that same price would have worked here and here. So that's pretty cool to see. So that was this candle and this candle, right? 1205 and 920. 920 and 1210. That was the 1210. 1210 is that one. Okay, so it's good to know. So maybe going further into the money, because you take a lot of the premium decay out of it when you're that far in the money, that you're not trading one for one, but it's close for how the stock trades versus the option trades. So anyway, it's always good just to compare options. Today was a good day to do it, just the choppiness of it. I didn't really look at puts, but let's see if we look at puts in here where it went stair step and then broke down. So this bearish engulfing is 1055. So if we look at the 1675 put at 1055, and here we got some sideways action. We're down around $1, a little bit more than $1. Could have been buying like 150 by 50, and that actually would have moved up. Possibly would have been out for 2R, but it would have been waiting a little bit till 1205. And that's when came down and made the lower wick there. So, but this would have been 2Rs on the 1675, which it doesn't quite touch here. So again, if you're looking for it to get to that strike, you're way out of the money here. Oh, it's almost there. I've seen that happen a lot of times where it's just plugging away, it's getting closer, 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 and then does this about face right near or right at the strike. And you got to be nimble to exit right there when it's forming those candles. And this candle is the signal. So this being a high wave indecision candle is the signal that, hey, it may not continue down any lower. It's like I said, especially a hammer and then a bearish engulfing a high wave candle, and then a candle that closes above both of them. This definitely looks like a reversal, and that's what happened. So hope this is helpful. I hope you're looking at the options and trying to figure out how the stock moves and the options move and match that up. There were some opportunities today to get a couple R, but you got to be in the right strike, and you got to just play it with watching these 5-minute candles. So today the indecision candles or the hammer candles were the good ones. So this one was a hammer, this was a hammer, indecision, hammer. Some of those were smaller candles on the options. So hope you enjoyed this video. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.